What does it take for an empire to dominate an entire region for centuries and then slowly lose it piece by piece? How does a rising power transform from an unstoppable force into a retreating giant? For over 500 years, the Balkans were at the heart of one of the most powerful empires in history, the Ottoman Empire. But the story of Ottoman rule in the Balkans is not just about conquest. It is about control, resistance, transformation, and ultimately, decline. How did the Ottomans manage to conquer and hold such a complex and diverse region? And what forces caused their power to unravel over time? To understand this, we must go back to the beginning when the empire was still rising. The Ottoman expansion into the Balkans began in the 14th century as the empire. Then a rising Anatolian power crossed into southeastern Europe during a period of political fragmentation among Balkan states. Victories such as the Battle of Kosovo marked a turning point, weakening regional resistance and establishing Ottoman influence across Serbia and neighboring territories. Unlike many invaders, the Ottomans combined military strength with administrative organization, allowing them not just to conquer land, but to integrate it into a functioning imperial system. This was not a temporary occupation. It was the beginning of long-term rule. Once established, the Ottomans built a governance system designed to manage diversity, incorporating different ethnic and religious groups into a structured imperial framework. Through systems like the millet structure, religious communities were allowed a degree of autonomy under their own leaders while remaining loyal to the empire. Land was organized under the timur system, which tied military service to land grants, ensuring both control and economic productivity. This flexible yet controlled system allowed the Ottomans to maintain stability across a region known for its complexity. At the core of Ottoman dominance was its military strength, particularly elite forces such as the Janissaries' highly trained infantry units recruited through the Devshirme system. These forces, combined with advanced use of gunpowder weapons, allowed the empire to expand deeper into Europe, capturing key cities and securing strategic positions. By the 5th, 10th, and 16th centuries, the Ottomans had established themselves as a dominant power in the Balkans, controlling trade routes and influencing regional politics. At its peak, the empire seemed unstoppable. For the people of the Balkans, Ottoman rule brought both stability and constraint, as the empire maintained order and facilitated trade, while also imposing taxes and limiting political autonomy. Religious tolerance under the millet system allowed communities to preserve their identities, but social hierarchies and administrative control reinforced Ottoman authority. Over time, this balance between tolerance and control shaped the cultural and social landscape of the region, creating a complex legacy that would influence future generations. By the 17th century, signs of decline began to emerge as the empire faced military setbacks, administrative inefficiencies, and increasing competition from European powers. The failed siege of Vienna marked a major turning point, signaling the limits of Ottoman expansion into Europe. At the same time, internal challenges such as corruption, weakening central authority, and economic difficulties began to erode the foundations of Ottoman control. The empire was no longer expanding. It was beginning to struggle. In the 19th century, a new force began to reshape the Balkans' nationalism. Inspired by ideas of self-determination and influenced by broader European political movements, uprisings and revolutions broke out across the region as groups sought independence from Ottoman rule, challenging the empire's authority. Movements in Greece, Serbia, and other areas gradually weakened Ottoman control, as external powers also became involved, supporting various factions for their own strategic interests. The Balkans became a region of conflict, not just within the empire, but between global powers. The final phase of Ottoman decline in the Balkans came during the early 20th century, particularly during the Balkan Wars, when a coalition of Balkan states fought to remove Ottoman influence from Europe. These conflicts resulted in the loss of most of the empire's remaining European territories, marking the end of centuries of Ottoman dominance in the region. What had once been a vast and powerful system of control was reduced to a shadow of its former self. The decline of Ottoman power in the Balkans was not caused by a single factor, but by a combination of internal weaknesses and external pressures. Administrative inefficiency, economic challenges, and military setbacks weakened the empire from within, while nationalism, foreign intervention, and shifting global dynamics accelerated its collapse. The system that once allowed for flexibility and control became less effective in a changing world. And over time, the balance was lost. The story of the Ottoman Empire in the Balkans is a reminder that power is not static. It must adapt, evolve, and respond to new challenges. The Ottomans built a system capable of ruling a diverse region for centuries, but when that system could no longer adjust to changing realities, it began to fall apart. So, when we look at the rise and fall of Ottoman power in the Balkans, we must ask, was their decline inevitable? Or could history have taken a different path?